So as of today, my channel is 1 year old. It has been a very interesting 1 year for YouTube stuff. I have gone through a whole gambit of different things on my channel in terms of, as a channel growing and in terms of stuff that I've had to deal with with YouTube. It's been crazy. It really has. It's like almost I got a course of YouTube 101 essentially. Like I don't consider myself anything of now a master of YouTube. Like now I know everything of YouTube. No, I'm still every day learning some little nuance of things that I can do with the channel, do something different. Um, but one thing that I think that shows any form of growth is the ability to learn from where you've come from in the past. Humans in general, we forget a lot of times about our past, and people go, "Well, the future is what defines you," but the future defines you based off your past actions too. It's not that you're essentially chained to your past, mind you, but you have to be aware that whatever you did in the past at one point does affect your future. And, it might not per se mean that it's going to affect you 100%, but you have to learn from, what you've done in the past to make yourself a better person for the future, if that makes any sense. And that might sound way more poetic than I actually meant it to be, but that's how I see it. I always learn that I'm one of those people that I know my past is in my past. You can't focus on it because that's also wrong. But the thing is that you can't forget that the struggles you've went through or the things you've went through that made you as a person that they do influence you on day-to-day basis. And with anything like in terms of if a sport, if you're playing, if you love sports, if you are a writer, if you're a musician, whatever you can consider yourself as, there is a nuance to learning to grow and to get better and better as time goes by. It's almost ignorant to think that it's just gonna happen. It doesn't happen like that. It's something that you have to do yourself physically. Get better by practice, practice, practice. Anything in this world that you want to get better at is practice. You might have like a God-given gift that manifests in you right away to do something amazing, and that's awesome. Hey, listen, that's great. But if you want to get even better, you have to keep practicing and kind of reform your talent and kind of refine it. That's why one thing that I really took to heart on this year anniversary is what I wanted to do for a year anniversary to like thank everyone and just kind of reflect on this 1 year. I'm not gonna do this every year. Don't get me wrong. Like, oh, next year my 2 year anniversary, I'm gonna talk. No, I'm not gonna do the same stuff. I'll do like year anniversaries of all the times I do of YouTube. So if I do it for 5 years, I'll do five of them in total. But the first year, I think I wanted to do a montage to kind of show the growth of my channel. So I'm going to show you guys various clips. I will talk about them, I think a little bit between the actual clips and actually more so at the end of them each. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is of Steins Gate. Now, Steins Gate was my first review, and one thing that I did during this review, as you're probably about to see, I'm not gonna actually. I decided I'm not gonna probably talk during them. I'll probably talk after them. But the first one will be up is Steins Gate. This was my first technical review on this channel. Not my first video, mind you, but my first review, and it was terrible. I'll let you guys watch. Here, and this will be my first review on this channel, and that is of Steins Gate. That deals with the concepts of science fiction, namely put it on. Has our main cast. So as you just saw, that was Steins Gate, my first ever review on this channel. First anime review on this channel. It was bad. I'll say that right now. One thing I used was I used my phone camera the whole time, and also I was using Sony headphones that I got. They were like $100 a pair of headphones. So they're not cheap headphones. They're actually good headphones, but they're not meant per se for speaking. I mean, they have a mic attachment to them, but I was using the mic that was built into the headsets. So it's even worse when you do stuff like that because it's a very small little mic. It's located on the like right side of the headphone and it's like underneath the phone. So realistically, it's picking up everything in the room around you, which is why you hear so much background noise. And at the time, I had no idea how to edit videos whatsoever. Like, I mean, it was something that I would not learn for another like two more, or no, another like not two more videos. I'm thinking of my montage thing. It would be something I wouldn't learn how to edit a video correctly for maybe another 30 videos, maybe 25 around that. when I finally would learn how to edit stuff. But let's look at my little change that changed from my review. So the next video is going to be of Death Parade. Yeah, I couldn't think of it for a second. It's going to be a Death Parade. Now, I will talk about what was changed from that, but I just want to show you guys. It's the shorter one of the videos. Well, the one after this is actually really short, but this one is, not that long. You can watch it and enjoy the horrible stuff that you're about to see. Anyways, here it goes. This is User9, and this is another anime request review, and that is of Death Parade. Now, this request review goes... Yeah, that was, something. So, yeah, that was my request review for Death Parade. It was, it's not that I don't think the review itself is bad. Like, don't get me wrong. I actually take pride in my reviews and my older ones too, because I've had to actually comment on some of those recently too. I still think that I had a good review style, and I still have a similar review style nowadays. But I was being a little bit too, I think, mechanical when it came to my reviews. Like, and what's funny? It's not that they were 100% mechanical in the sense of I had, like, for example, scripts or anything like that, because I never did scripts on my channel. I'm very, very firm to never doing scripts on my channel, whatsoever. I will never do them. So I want to always free verse my reviews, and even my videos. Like, this is free verse. I'll tell you right now, I made already 2 mistakes. I've had to restart a few of the videos, or a few of the dialogue. Thanks for this. But with this, the one difference you saw was that I was actually taking my camera and I was filming my computer monitors instead of actually, because I don't own Death Parade, unfortunately. I do want to buy that one day, but I was filming Death Parade via my cell phone. So I filmed the actual image, and I was holding my cell phone the whole time. Yeah, that worked for maybe, like, I want to say a dozen videos. It really did work, for me at least. But it turned sour more so when I realized that I was having one issue with my reviews at the time, and that was because I could not talk correctly with that. You see, I'm actually one of those people that I use my hands a lot when I talk. I can talk without using my hands, but my hands do typically move. Like right now, you can't see it with your own eyes, but I'm actually talking, like, moving my hands around and stuff, and it's weird because I'm essentially talking to a screen if you think about it. But that was one of the things that made it very hard to do reviews, and then even more so than before, because now I'm holding the cell phone the whole time in my hands and trying to talk. Like, that was horrible. That really was. I'll tell you right now, guys, because that was terrible. Now, luckily, I had an inspiration from someone. I forget who it was, and I apologize to that person, but I know I had an inspiration from someone to get a tripod. And so I bought this little tiny flexible tripod, and as you're about to see in the next video, this is the shortest video, by the way. It's like, I think, 8 seconds long, not even. You're going to see I don't even think I have any background audio for it. If I do, that's awesome, I guess, but if not, it's not a big deal. I just want to show that you could see the big difference in my video. So let's look at that real fast, and then we'll talk about my second to last improvement, and then my final last improvement of the channel so far. So as you saw, it wasn't per se my audio or anything changed, because you didn't actually hear any audio from that. I actually kept the volume on mute for that video because it was like super loud. But I actually started using Movie Maker, which was someone recommended me use Movie Maker. They said, hey, listen, dude, you're bad at editing. We get that. You have no editing skills, but why don't you use this free software, Movie Maker? It is really easy to use. It's super simple. And I'm like, well, okay, why not? Now, I forgot to mention this earlier, and I'll mention this now. One of the things about my channel that I actually took a lot of pride in, and I know people were like, why don't you make better video content and stuff like that? One of the things I always wanted to do was I wanted to make videos always simple. I've seen so many videos that have such, like, explosion sound effects, music playing everywhere, stuff spinning in the background, all this stuff. And I'm like, are you doing a video review, or are you doing an actual video? Like, what are you doing? I wanted my words to be front and center in my videos. Like, the reason why I don't do face cam, and it's not because I'm ashamed of what I look like. No, by any means, I'm not ashamed of what I look like. Because I actually like myself. I'm fine with myself. One thing about it is, though, as I wanted my words to reach people, I wanted that you heard my words, because as a writer, I am all about words. I'm a wordsmith by all definitions. I love words. And the thing is that I am a firm believer words have power. When people write or when people read anything in general, there's a nuance to kind of how words are expressed and how they are taken in by people, the masses in general, that when you hear something or see it on page, your mind then becomes into this kind of reality where you realize, whoa, this is, it's like you could relive the scene of your favorite books, like Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. And that's a good book, is that you can get lost in this kind of fantasy world that has been presented to you by an author. I think with reviews, it's something similar in the sense that, not so grandiose. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, you're going to get lost in my review, like, you're going to see the. No, I'm not saying that by any means. But I want you to hear the words that I've always presented. That was one of the things I always strive for. And to understand without an issue, like, because I could talk a lot more complicated. I can do that. I could talk in a very mechanical way, but I don't want to do that. I want to have these fun reviews that you can understand, that you can get the point across, that you understand, like, oh, okay, so this anime is not that good, or this anime is great, or this anime is subpar, but it has good elements here and there. I want you to get encaptured by what I say, and that's why I always went for the simple review style, like, Movie Maker. As you're about to see, my first actual, like, I want to say foray into editing. Like, I mean, this is the first time I even have music in my background or anything is coming up in the next video. And this was essentially the big difference, the big change in my videos until recently. Because this style would stay the same. Like, I would have different intros and stuff like that. But this would be my first ever attempt at really editing something using a software in my whole life. Anyways, go check it out. So as you can see, I had this kind of cool stuff. Like I actually had, you know, actual background music. I actually had a little title thing pop up, and that might seem like super simple stuff. Like, oh yeah, I could do that in my sleep. For me, as someone again who grew up in the, I want to say I grew up at the age of technology, but I never got accustomed to using computers like a lot of other people did. Like I didn't have a computer until I was almost 8 years old or 9 years old. That's when I first started kind of messing with computers. It was something big for me. I mean, I'm decent with computers in the sense I know how to work them, and of course, and stuff like that. I know how to fix a lot of computers. I know, I know the logistics of them, but that does not mean I knew how to do editing stuff or anything like that. I didn't know the nuances of various programs and, the whole nine. But this was my big step into this because from here on out, I would constantly be editing my videos and kind of learning from the how to do things better, like how to mix audios, how to trim videos, how to do all these things that I could alter things here and there and add multiple images and do all this. And I learned how to do it using Movie Maker. That's why I still use Movie Maker. I know people go, dude, get Sony Vegas, get this. And no, no, I don't need them. Honestly, for my reviews, I don't need Sony Vegas. I've never had a need for it. I never want them. And I know people say, well, you can get it for free. I don't want to get it for free. I am a big person of not getting pirated software. I don't care, that that's maybe everywhere online you can find it for free. I just don't want to do it. I actually would pay for it rather than anything else. But even more so, I don't need it. I really don't. So I've never had an interest in it. Now, as you can see, I actually switched the image, and it's like this was made by my friend Jester for mentioning his channel. I'm gonna put him the link below. I'm actually gonna put every person from the Otaku A team in the link below. So definitely check the channel out. Definitely check out the podcast. But the reason I'm doing that is because they are the reason I started growing even more as a channel. Like, honestly, besides subscribers, besides stuff like that, every single one of them brought something to me, I guess, in terms of learning. And for that, I'm internally grateful to them. They, making my channel even better. Jester made all my banners. He made a lot of my avatars. Actually, he made every single one of my avatars, excuse me. Um, except for the ones that I just picked off of line, like you saw before. That was Kyo from Samurai Deeper Kyo. Um, it's crazy, but I really have a lot to thank them for, and I appreciate it. Like, luckily friends like that came along and started teaching me how to do YouTube better. And the last video is a newer review. It's from ReZero, actually, and it's like my highest video on the channel. It's got 2,500 views, I believe, right now at the time of this. So I will say this right now, just enjoy the intro. I just want to show that. It's not going to be a super long video. It's like maybe 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long. And then I'll have one more final thing at the end, and that's it. So here we go. So yeah, I don't know. By the way, I don't know if the audio came out through that, so I'm gonna have to definitely check that in the end part. If it doesn't, I'm sorry for that in advance. But what can you do? Sometimes I swear OBS is one thing I've been using a lot more too. When I got into more reviewing stuff and more editing stuff, honestly, I kind of dislike OBS. Like, it's not that it's a bad software by any means. No, no, it's not that. It's just for me, I dislike it because I seem to never have a good time with it in using it. Like, I always have issues here and there. It's a free software though. Definitely go check it out. It's, it still does its job. Like, capturing images is all, I did all of this by using OBS and stuff like that, which is another huge feat. As you can see, this is my final avatar of recent. I really like this. Thanks a lot, Jester, for this. It's awesome. Overall, though, my channel has grown in a year. I think, as you see, a lot of the videos changed, a lot of the formats changed. I think my reviewing style changed slightly, not per se in the sense of the quality, but more so I'm trying to think what would actually be a good way of describing it. More so not the quality change, but more so the kind of quality. How's that? And then you might think that, well, aren't they the same thing? No, I don't want to say they're the same thing. I mean, in the sense that I became more free verse, even more than I was when I first started. I cared less about having it where it was always like I had to review things in a very monotone-esque way of talking. I became more comfortable with reviewing stuff. That's the best way I could put it. And I enjoy doing YouTube. I really do. And I hope I keep doing this for as long as I can. Honestly, I'm a person that I have a field that I want to go into. I'm already 26 years old. I have a field that I'm going to go into that's going to require a lot of my time. It's going to require a lot of my work and stuff like that. And when I actually finally go into that field, I don't know how I will be doing YouTube at that point. I might not be doing YouTube as much as I am doing right now, or I might not do it at all. And that's, it's what it is. YouTube, first and foremost, is always a hobby to me, folks. It has always been that way since the very beginning. I've always, made sure people understood that because I might disappear one day in terms of, my videos might stop. And when they do, listen, I'm not going to say that they're going to stop right now or tomorrow or anything like that. No. I will, trust me, I will give you guys plenty of notice when I stop making reviews all the time. And I honestly don't see that I want to say for at least a couple of years, at least, or maybe a year, that I won't stop doing. I'll keep doing YouTube and I'll keep enjoying it. When I hit more responsibilities, well, then the time will tell from there. But I wanted to say, everyone, thanks so much. Honestly, I know it sounds almost like a goodbye video, and I don't want to make it sound like a goodbye video because I really am honest with you guys and girls. I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. I really do. I don't get paid for it, but it's so much fun to see your reactions to things when I make a good video. You guys saying, oh, thanks so much for the content. Thanks so much for this, that. It puts a smile on my face, really does. It's something that it fills my soul with a warmth that, as a creator, like as someone who writes stuff all the time, it's hard to get your ideas and your kind of formatting out onto the masses, essentially. Excuse me. And when you actually are able to do that, it's just so awesome because then you get feedback. And I am one person. I don't mind criticism. I never mind criticism. At least correct criticism. I don't like people saying stupid crap. That's a whole different criticism. But if you go, you could do this better. If you could edit this better. If you can add audios here or there, that's stuff that makes me grow as both a person and as a reviewer. With writing, when I write stuff, I've had plenty of harsh critics go, hey, dude, that was a terrible story. It could have been so much better. You did this wrong. You did that wrong. I take that into heart and I go, okay, I now know what I did wrong. Let me grow from it. And guess what? I'll do another story and I will present it to them and they'll be like, dude, that's not bad. There you go. You did a lot better with that one. And that's how it is because you should never be afraid of criticism. Criticism? You should never be able to speak well either. No. You should always be willing to take criticism and understand that it's not being directed toward you per se in the sense that you might be thinking it's directed toward you. A lot of people give you criticism to make you a better person, to make you stronger. And those are the ones that are your friends. Those are your true, honest to God friends. The ones that aren't afraid to, say, hey, listen, dude, your video is not that great today, or your video really hit some sour notes here and there. Those are what I consider good friends. What I don't consider good advice is like the ones like going, oh, why don't you do this with that? And it's like, what are you talking about? There's no warrant based on it. There's no, there's no growth from it. There's no ideal, actual concept from it. I will keep doing YouTube for as long as I can. If it ends next year, it ends next year. If it ends 3 years from now, it ends 3 years from now. But honestly, it's been a fun 1 year for this. I mean, I've had so much fun. I make a video a day for the most part. I've only missed, I think, 7 days. So I only missed technically a week of YouTube. Technically, I have 450 something videos out. Yeah, because there's some days I've had to upload like more than one video. It's been a lot of work. But it's been work that I've enjoyed so much. And thank everyone. You know, you guys are awesome. You guys have stuck with me since the beginning of this channel. I just don't know what to tell you guys. I hope you keep sticking with me as long as I keep doing this. I will talk to you later. As always, whole nine. I'm not gonna tell you to subscribe and stuff like that, even though it sounds like I do. You do that if you want. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye bye, everyone.